Queen's Park Rangers welcomed second place Stoke City to Loftus Road this Saturday, so I caught up with Dan Buxton from the Every Step Along the Way podcast to find out more about the Potters' strong start to the Championship, summer transfer business, and players to look out for. I'll also be giving my own thoughts on QPR as usual straight after, so do stay tuned in for that. If you're new to the channel, I'm Connor aka Hoopsa, and I talk about all things QPR here on YouTube and in podcast form, so if you enjoy this match preview, make sure to hit like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Hi Dan, thank you very much for joining me for this Queen's Park Rangers versus Stoke City match preview. How are you, first of all?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, in decent spirits with a good start to the season, and yeah, looking forward to round 6 of the Championship.
Yeah, absolutely, I'm sure. Well, Stoke's 18th place finish last season was their lowest since relegation to the Championship in 2018. But the Potters have started off this season with their best start in 27 years under Mark Robins. What's happened?
Mark Robbins, pretty much. Yeah, I've finally got a decent manager. He's got things organised. He's got the right players needed. We've got a good blend of youth and experience. And yeah, every player just seems to know now what their job is and what they need to do.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Stoke had a busy summer transfer window. Aaron Cresswell on a free from West Ham, Divin Mbama on loan from Man City, the picks so far in terms of incomings. Obviously, Valterberger's sale to Hoffenheim, the standout sale as well. How satisfied are you with the business that was done and how the squad's shaped up?
I think it's been fantastic to get the amount of the overhaul that was needed done in one window and to look as strong as we currently do. I think they've done an amazing job. Obviously, over time, it might not be as rosy. It definitely isn't going to be as rosy as it is right now, I think, over the course of a season or so. But yeah, everyone who's come in looks like a decent signing. Even those who haven't really forced their way into the team yet have contributed when they've been given slight opportunities in the league. Um, and yeah, I mean, obviously we didn't want to see Berger go by any stretch, but we've sold him for reportedly double what we paid for him, so somewhere in the region of about 8 million. And we've brought in Thomas Rigo for less than half that, who on an initial sort of last week's showing on his debut, he looks a real player as well.
Yeah, of course. So obviously it's 4 wins from 5 in the championship so far. What would you say has been the standout performance of those games?
Yeah, so we've had some good ones. So obviously at home, to be fair, there's only 5 games. I can run you through them. Derby on the first day, we controlled a lot of the ball, controlled a lot of the possession. Um, they took the lead with about 20 minutes to go, and a Stoke side for many, many years that'd have been it. It's been, oh yeah, one of them days, is it? You control a lot of the play and you lose 1-0. Well, not this one, it seems, because we got an equaliser. And then we just kept pushing, and scored twice in injury time. Again, something Stoke haven't really been accustomed to in recent years. So that was a very sort of gutsy showing where they just kept going, kept going. Sheffield Wednesday scored in the first minute of each half, got a third goal midway through the second half as well, and was really good on the counter attack. That was a really professional display. They went out there, good intensity right from the off. Obviously, like I say, first minute in each half. After that, Southampton. I suppose winning away at Southampton has to sort of be a standout result. Even going down to 10 men with half an hour to go, I was like 1-0 up. I was like, probably take a point at that stage, knowing how good Southampton can be. But yeah, we look really dangerous, like I say, on the break. So we were able to absorb pressure, and then we hit them on the break, went 2-0 up. They scored off a set piece late on, but again, it was they never really bombarded us or made us like Victor Johansson pulled off a couple of really good saves, but it wasn't like his goal was being peppered by any stretch, like you would imagine in them circumstances. So the defence held up really well there. It was a really solid away performance. West Brom, again, if you look at the stats, I think we put something like 50 crosses in, nearly 50 crosses into the West Brom box. Lost 1-0 to a goalkeeping mistake where Victor's just tried to, for some reason, claim the ball above Lawal's head, dropped it, and yeah, it fell to the only West Brom player within like a 15-yard radius who's tapped it into to an open goal. So yeah, that was 1-0. And then West Brom, to credit to West Brom, they defended really well. They trusted themselves to hold out and keep us at bay. And we were attack after attack after attack, and we just couldn't break it down. And like I say, they defended really well that day. And then, yeah, obviously last week just gone was again another professional display, and one that's, yeah, we thoroughly deserved that victory against Birmingham, who I think will probably be up there, round about the playoffs at the end of the season. But yeah, we took the game to them. The wingers were outstanding. Um, if you search enough on Twitter and stuff, you'll see little clips of the Manoff absolutely destroying young Cochrane at like left back. There's poor lad, he was like just every time just taking it past him, and Sorba Thomas just doing what Sorba Thomas has done all season so far. So yeah, the wingers, they were electric in the first half, and then second half we knew that obviously Birmingham, if we give them opportunities, could be dangerous. So we just made ourselves a little bit more solid. And yeah, whilst we remained a threat on the break, we were just a bit more compacted, a bit more solid.
So looking ahead to Saturday, who would you say can cause QPR damage, and where can Rangers find joy against Stoke?
Front three is definitely the issue. I mean, obviously, if you're looking for players to make damage, that is generally where you'll start looking. But like I say, both the wingers last week were on fire that first half. They were absolutely. There's trickery, there's good close control, there's the ability to beat people, putting crosses in. I think we brought Thomas in the summer, but I think the fact that Cissé's now fit has just maybe pushed Million Man off on to think, oh, okay, there's people who could take my spot now. I'm not sort of guaranteed a place. That was the best I've seen him play for Stoke for about 18 months last week. So he's was on it. Hopefully he can continue that. And Divine Mubama, who's a good, powerful striker, is making intelligent runs, holding the ball up when needed. He's a good striker in that he plays the right pass as well. So there's a couple of times when the crowd is screaming at him because we're on the counter, and rather than rush a ball forward, he's just took an extra second and played the right pass rather than, like I say, just sort of getting carried away with the situation. So he's shown a lot of maturity, and a good eye for goal as well. He's like I say, he's scored a few as well, so he knows how to finish.
And what about the opposite way around? Where can QPR cause problems for Stoke?
It's weird, because obviously, if you asked me this last season, we could have been here for half an hour. But I was actually having this discussion on our pad last night, and it was the sort of the co-presenter who was doing it with brought up that they were struggling to name a real weakness where you think, oh, actually, yeah, like these type of players cause us problems. I think we've been really sound defensively, and it'd be interesting to see the first time that somebody does get at us and causes a lot of problems. 'Cause it's going to happen. We're not daft to think it's not. There are going to be times this season when teams do make us look very ordinary, and when teams, an individual type of players can cause us real problems. So I don't know on that one. I'll be honest, but I'm intrigued to find out where that weakness is going to be when it does come about.
Well, Dan, it's been a pleasure to have you on the channel once again.
Right.
Finally, let's round off with your score prediction.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think, I think there's a goal in you guys as well. You've been playing well recently. Like I say, scored 3 in the last 2 games. Um, I think we've got a goal in ourselves as well. So I've said a lot of games this season with Stoke. It'll depend on the first goal. Like I say, we saw against. We like I say we had to keep going until injury time to get in front against Derby. We struggled to break down West Brom when 1-0 down, as I mentioned before. A lot of chances, a lot of effort, but we couldn't do it. If we go 1-0 down and teams sit back, I think that's more problematic for us. If we go out and get the first goal, we can then drop a few yards and play on the counter, and we do look a lot more dangerous. So that'll be key. But yeah, I think 1-1 wouldn't. That could well be a fair assumption coming the weekend.
Well, Dan, thank you so much again, and all the best for the rest of the season after this weekend.
Of course. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Same to you.
Massive thanks to Dan once again for joining me for this preview. Make sure you give him and the Every Step Along the Way podcast a follow via the links down below. So, a very much different test awaits this weekend, having faced 2 out of 3 of the promoted sides over the past 2 games and coming away victorious. But on the flip side, QPR are one of only 2 teams in the league to have put together back-to-back wins either side of the international break. And given that the goals have started to flow a bit more now, it's likewise a different challenge to any that the Potters have encountered so far. This time last week, I was wondering how Julian Stephan might set Rangers up after taking a more pragmatic approach last time out at W12, and that question was answered not only with a blend of build-up play from the back and long balls, but also 2 strikers on the pitch at the same time to great success. The Frenchman has hinted that we could see some adaptations once again against Stoke, noting to press this week that we need to find a good balance and be strong defensively against the Potters, and that he wasn't sure if we'll be able to score 3 goals this time round. It's becoming clearer each game that he's a head coach that is going to tweak his setup depending on who we play, and having said that he played 4 offensive players and an 8 instead of 2 6s to score goals against Wrexham, I do wonder if that suggests that it's the midfield that might be tweaked this time round, perhaps with the introduction of Isaac Hayden from the off in place of a forward to try and bulk up the middle of the pitch and contain a more threatening side in the form of Stoke. After all, with winger Sorba Thomas top for big chances created in the league so far, our backline will need all the help they can get. With that said though, Stephan did say in that same presser that he wasn't completely satisfied with just the 3 goals against Wrexham, so perhaps he's bluffing and we'll end up seeing all of Richard Coney, Roman Burrell and Mickey Frey starting this time round. In terms of injuries, it seems Elias Chair and Kwame Poku are still away off, though Paul Smith could be in contention as an additional option down the wing. So let's finish off with a score prediction. It's hard not to feel positive after back-to-back wins, and it's easy to feel a lot more confident about us scoring and picking up points when we're starting to see a genuinely good-looking attack. I do think Stoke are going to put a lot of pressure on us at the back though, so I think there's going to be goals in this for both sides. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. It's over to you then. What's your score prediction? How do you think this match is going to play out? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much as ever for tuning in. If you're new to Hoopsa, you've enjoyed this match preview, please consider hitting like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time for my match reaction. Come on you Oz.